motivate and to inspire in hopes that you will become a better you. I'd like to give a shout out to everybody that's listening all over the world. Thank you guys for supporting the Ross Cloud Podcast. And listen, we have a very, very, very special guest with us in the building. We have activist attorney Jason Keith. How are you, Jason?
Doing well. Thank you for having me, Ross.
Absolutely, man. I'm telling you, man, this is such an honor for us here at Ross Cloud. Man, we're elated to have you here, brother. And I know for myself, I have been wanting to do this interview for some time. So listen, we're not going to hold the folks up any longer. Going to go ahead and get right into it. Where you from, Jason?
I'm from Jacksonville, North Carolina. It's on the coast.
Right on.
Camp Lejeune and right there close to Wilmington. So.
Okay, I love it. What high school did you attend?
White Oak High School.
Okay, then did you play sports?
In high school, I played a little bit of football. I tried out for basketball. I didn't make it. I didn't have the skills then.
What? Come on, man.
I didn't. My parents didn't invest in the art of teaching me the game so I was a late bloomer.
Sure.
I was too far behind. I couldn't catch up, but I tried.
I love it. You know what I'm saying? Listen, so I know that we're here to talk about everything that you've accomplished and everything, but it's important to us that we take the folks on a journey so that folks don't think that it was easy for you to get to the place where you are. North Carolina Central School of Law, a BS from North Carolina A&T State. Aggie pride. Worldwide.
Gotta love the Aggies.
Gotta love it, man. So when did you know you wanted to be a lawyer?
Well, listen, it goes back.
Sure.
I've been blessed. I'm blessed and highly favored. My father was a landscaper. My mom was an educator. And growing up, I had to work with my father. Like, he required us to work in those tough environments. He worked outside. Ross, it was hot.
Yes, sir.
I was sweating, Ross.
Jackson, yes,
I
sir.
said, Lord, if you get me out of here, I'm going to wear a suit every day and make it look good. And I prayed for that thing, Ross. And so number one condition was you had to be the air conditioner.
Okay.
You had to have some AC. Number two, I was always good at running my mouth, Ross.
Yes, sir.
And I was good at that. And then the third thing was I loved to argue. And so at some point in time, during the course of my childhood, I learned that, hey, and we had a family friend that was a lawyer.
Sure.
The dope thing about being a lawyer is making it cool to look like being a lawyer.
Yeah, man.
And it was a family friend. She made it look easy. And I said, I want to do that. And that's where we are.
Man, I love it. The fact that you said yes to becoming a lawyer. So what was the bar like for you, man? What was that moment like for you?
It wasn't, I passed it the first time. One thing about me.
Talk, man.
One thing about me is I've experienced so many highs and lows, and I'm blessed. When I put my mind to something, I've never failed.
Sure.
I'll have some highs and some lows, and I'll have some adversity and some challenges.
Sure.
But I make it. So when I went through law school, Ross, I just did what I had to do.
Yes, sir.
I was doing a lot of work. I was doing a lot of fellowshipping. I was making sure I got my work done. My first semester I almost flunked out, but then after that I had to just redesign my curriculum that I was going to do, and I worked my work schedule in law school, and I was able to get straight through, no issues, straight through the bar, passed first time, and here we are.
Yeah, so discipline had to be a big part of your DNA then, man.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you, I got to give, the credit to the late, great James Keith Jr., who passed away. And one of the things that he did by making me work outside, Ross, like it would look like, I read Will Smith's book a long time ago, and he talked about putting bricks on the wall and how that was a challenge for him.
Sure.
That his father gave him. We would literally have to plant hundreds and thousands of plants. And by doing that, it gave me this sense of persistence and perseverance that, like, I just felt like I could do anything. So
sure.
it was tough, but when I put my mind to it, I was able to get it done.
What was preparation like for you at that moment? How did you prepare for the bar, man? What did you do?
Isolation and prayer. Just those two.
Yeah.
The science to it is isolating yourself and focusing on what you got to do.
Yeah.
And that's even now.
Sure.
That's even now in terms of even my case preparation and my trials, I have to isolate myself. The isolation, preparation in terms of focus of what you need to focus on, and then just being connected in strategy in terms of understanding what you need to focus on. So, one of the things I did is I had a great I outlined, and I had some great classmates that I relied upon. And we made that thing work.
Man, I
made
love
that thing
it.
work.
I love it. So you established teamwork right then and there. Takes a team. Yeah.
We called ourselves the Fab Five. We still getting it. Still getting it.
I love it, man. I absolutely love it. So here you are now. You become a lawyer, and let me tell you something that I love. I love black folks. I love black folks. And anybody that know me, I love our people. Even everything that comes along with us, the good, the bad, the things we don't understand about each other, but I love us. And you have a black firm, an all-black firm. Now, did you start off with your firm first, or did you get it straight out the mud?
Well, coming out of law school, I had the challenges that I always try to encourage young aspiring attorneys to expect. Coming out young, black, trying to, make a market, make a name for yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to give you an opportunity unless you prove yourself.
Gotcha.
And so I had to work with an attorney. I worked with an attorney in Davidson County who's now a judge, Robert Brody. Worked with him for a while. And then I worked for another firm. And then by that point in time, I realized I was doing all the work anyway.
Right on.
Might as well hang my shingle up and go out there and try to make some money. And so
Yes,
the rest is history. But yeah, it was an experience. And it was something I was glad I went through. But I had to work with other firms for a while to kind of get the foundation what I needed.
Sure. That's good stuff, man. You had to soak up all that game.
All
man.
day.
So you could be in the position that you're in now. And I love what you have going on, this next gen that you have going on. Of course, I know that's the next generation. I think it's under 40 lawyers.
Well, some of them, I'm over 40, so, you can't give me that, Ross. Matter of fact, don't have me telling my age on social media, Ross. Just might want to lie
right
about it at some point in time. But
right on.
But yeah, we have different age groups, but for the most part, it's next gen, and we integrate a lot of what you're doing. We have a podcast. We have we have a lot of technology. All the law offices have a 90-inch television. We do a lot of digital and police technology.
Yeah.
We do a lot of reels and stuff in terms of our civil cases. So we try to use that technology to help give value to what we're offering.
Man, I love it, man. Dope. So listen, in me doing my research, I was on your Instagram page, and I saw something on there that stood out to me. All you do is win. No matter what, you gonna win. Not guilty. 3 not guilty verdicts, 3 different courthouses, and 3 consecutive weeks. #game changer. Talk about the essence of that, if you would.
But Ross, don't put that much pressure.
Come on, man.
Ross, I run 3 in a row, then you might make me lose the next one. Don't put pressure on me like that. No, God is good. Listen,
for sure.
Listen, they call it the practice of law for a reason. You got to practice. Like I tell my son, as you know, I have an AAU program. I have a gym.
Yes,
I have an academy. And I'm always aspiring and preaching to the young kids. The more shots you take, later on, the more shots you make.
Right on.
Life by inch is a cinch, but life by yard is hard. So you got to understand that it's just a small thing. So I've taken a lot of losses, Ross, to get to this point.
Right.
There's a lot of cases that I got smacked around, but the reality of it is you get to that point, and God will get you to that point where you're kind of just so comfortable and you're so in the moment where things come easy to you.
Absolutely.
And that's what's going on now. And so it's the application of me outworking people. Every day I get up at 5:30, 5 o'clock. I work out every day.
Yes, sir.
I don't go to sleep. I study, I research. And the one thing I recognize is if God gives it to you and it's in your mind, they can't take it from you.
Come on, man.
And so you got to focus on that. And I'm always trying to create that inspiration. But those 3 not guilties came on the back of, last year I had some guilty verdicts.
Sure.
And the harsh reality of it is everybody's not innocent. So guilty and innocence and not guilty might look different.
Sure.
In some cases, it might, I might get you 2.5 versus 10 years.
Sure.
Still guilty, but you're still able to come home 8 years. Well, 8 years earlier than you would have in other circumstances.
Yes, sir.
But this recently, the major one was the Graham case where, we'll probably talk about that.
Yeah, we will.
But, those cases are monumental in the sense that they stand for some form of progress.
Yes, sir.
There's a fight in the process of it. And so we'll talk about that. But I have been blessed. Kelly she's here. She was in my trial with me.
I love it.
We were throwing blows at them. We had a little swagger in the courtroom, Ross.
Come on, I know you did, man.
The jury gave us what we wanted. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Man, I absolutely love it, man. I'm telling you, when I was doing my research and I saw that, I said, oh, yeah, he about that life. Yes, sir, that lawyer life. I love it, man. It's a beautiful thing to see some of the things that you are doing, as you alluded to before, with Reverend Gregory Drumright, not guilty, which was huge. What's a huge moment for you guys, and you guys won the silver case too as well.
Oh, day.
Which was
made them payrolls.
Hey, come on now,
cut that check. cut it. Sign, seal, deliver.
Yes, sir. Man, I love it, man. I absolutely love it. What was that like for you, man? That moment, you in Graham, Alamance County.
Ross,
Woo.
I'll tell you, listen, I mean, sometimes you are placed in circumstances in your life, you don't even know how you get there.
Yeah.
Me and Drumright was down here. Me and Kelly helped to orchestrate the Black Lives Matter mural downtown.
Yes.
We did the original version of it, and we did a redefined version of it this year. But during that process, we started with the social justice movement. We would go and print 100 racism T-shirts. We wanted during the protests and during the Black Lives Matter movement to be involved. And so what ended up happening by me being involved and me being a lawyer and me being an advocate, I connected with people that were also doing that. So Drumright reached out a long time ago, and we worked together to put together protests. But long story short, people in Graham, they wasn't too happy about all these dark skinned folk coming down there.
I could only imagine.
And so one thing we recognized is that there was a lot of counter protesters. There was a lot of aggression. There was a lot of racism, and there was a lot of pocket racism that came out when these black people came. But long story short, that right there was one of the most proud and defining moments to me in my career.
Come on,
because we took those cases for free because we felt like at the beginning that it was the right thing to do.
Yes.
We felt like that Graham was in Alamance County and the sheriff's department. They were mistreating these black and brown people because they didn't like the message that they were sending.
Gotcha.
And once they mistreated them, then the county went to try to blacklist and label them and make it seem as though they were doing something wrong to cover their tracks.
Yeah.
And all of that blew up in their face.
Man.
That last win was so profound, Ross, because when I won Drumright's case, because Drumright was they called the leader.
Sure.
He was the lead agitator, as they called.
Gotcha.
And the harsh reality was he was the one that was on the stage during the protest when they came and said that these black people that were standing out there exercising their First Amendment rights, they said, leave, disperse, get out of here, go home. And they said, we ain't going nowhere.
No, sir.
And so the amazing part about it was at that point, they stood steadfast because they knew their constitutional rights.
Yes, sir.
And they placed about 15 to 18 people under arrest. This is after they pepper sprayed them 3 times. This is after they assaulted these people 3 times. And by placing them under arrest, Drumright and all of them made the paper. Black Lives Matter protesters coming into Graham causing problems. They're down here trying to destroy the city, trying to destroy the statue. And when you look at the videos, and there were drones and all types of cameras. They're exercising, they're just standing there protesting, exercising First Amendment rights.
That's
so
right.
when we won that case, Ross.
Yes.
When we won that case, after they cut that check, after we done got that check from them, they had to dismiss not only Drumright's case, because I got the judge to throw that out. The jury didn't even get that. They had to dismiss everybody's case.
Everybody.
And so the people that lawyered up the right way, now there were some people that pled guilty in district court.
Sure.
There's some people that were found guilty, but the ones that were, their cases were still going, they had to go back and retroactively dismiss all those cases.
Wow.
And so you have about 15 to 18 people after 2 years later that are now they're having to acknowledge that, hey, we did you wrong. Yeah. And that was the dope part about it. It wasn't just Greg Drumright. It was Ben Crum.
Come on.
It was Elizabeth Haddix.
Yes.
It was, with so many people involved in that, Christopher Knight, all of these attorneys are involved in so many forms of litigation. There's a federal civil lawsuit with like 19 plaintiffs being pepper sprayed. Yeah. And then you got the criminal team saying, hey, they didn't do anything wrong in the first place.
Yes.
And so by doing that, you made Alamance County put in a newspaper that this black pastor and all these people that were there were doing nothing wrong. And that was the hardest thing for them. So they had to dismiss those cases. And so that was great. We still got a lot of work to do, though.
Sure.
We still got a lot of work to do. We still got, we're applying pressure.
Absolutely, man.
I mean, and one thing about it, if you don't see smoke, ain't nothing burning. We gotta make it go. So we still working now.
Yes, sir. Y'all want it all to smoke.
We want it all. We
yes,
want all the
sir.
smoke.
I love it, man. I love it. I love it, man. You talking that talk too. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So listen, I heard you reference God a couple of times. So I take it that you are a man of faith.
All day, yes, sir.
So, man, let's talk about how important faith is for you in what did you do, man, because you at the front, at the battleground.
Yeah.
You've taken on some of the same roles that Martin and Malcolm and so many others that we see. Ben Crump.
Yes.
Who you
great guy.
Yes.
My guy.
Yes, sir. So you're taking on that mantle and you running with it. It's going to take a great deal of faith, and no fear is required in that. So if you would, can you talk about your faith?
And listen, like my relationship with God is the primary source of my stability. When you're dealing with people every day and you got so many, I got a lady that wants to sue Walmart for falling on a banana. I got a kid that got, we got to go to Havelock to see because the police shot and killed his brother.
Yeah.
You got so many different people. You got so many different facets of circumstances where you have to have a strong relationship with God.
Got to.
Because you have to look those people in their face and look them in the eyes and say, it's going to be okay.
Yes, sir.
Like, you have to weather the storm.
Yes.
We're all going to have the storm, Ross.
Yes, we
but
are.
What we got to do is what we fight through that, and we give it to God.
Come on.
God is going to prepare you through your circumstances,
man.
through your adversity,
through
the hardships. And so every day there's a form of prayer. I love to run. I love to work out. Every day I pray to God. It's one of those situations where even for the first 10 years of my practice, my mom gave me a scripture, and I always just kept it in my law books. And it was one of the things that has been so profound, understanding that everything I do has to be deeply rooted in my relationship with God.
I love that. I love it. The key word to me that stood out more than anything was relationship. That's an intimate thing.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And that requires a great deal of love to go along with that. Thank you for bringing clarity to faith.
No problem.
And what it means to you, brother. That's so important. That's a key right there. So listen, I'm going to keep going. And, this is not the only thing that you're doing. Right. I did my due diligence when I went in to study and research you and because it was necessary for me to do that too. But we all are familiar with Black August. We're familiar with that. 1970, Jonathan George Jackson, the incident that happened many, many years ago. And where I'm going with this is I didn't even know. It made me study even more as it pertains to the Alabama prison awareness. Mm-hmm. And how you went down to Alabama Correction Department. And you helped a gentleman by the name of Castillo Vaughn to address his medical needs. And as I was reading that, I did even more research. And these are numbers that I saw from August 2022. There were 541 vacancies in 2022. Parole denials were up 84% in 2021 compared with 46% in 2017 in the fiscal year. 2022, the parole board denied. It hit a historical high of 89%. Those numbers are crazy. And I'm sure they're different now. It's 2023. So if you could you kind of enlighten our viewers and our listeners about what's happening down in Alabama with this situation? We know of Mississippi, the Mississippi situation with yes,
sir.
Yes, all of these things, we have the Prison Reform Act with Meek Mills. Is it Meek Mills? Am I correct?
He has something to do with it.
He has something to do with it. And but it's a list. It's quite a few gentlemen that are working on this, and women too. But if you would, can you kind of talk about this a little bit, the situation that's going on with the Alabama Correctional Facility?
Absolutely. Look, Ross, there's a book by Michelle Alexander talk about New Jim Crow. And it talks about how things were and how now Jim Crow is just, it's the same Jim Crow, it just has a different personality
Yes,
to
sir.
it.
Yes, sir.
When you go to Alabama, this case is amazing because this case came through social media. This case was originally referred to Ben. We call him Big Daddy Ben. Big Daddy Ben gets all the cases first. Even if I get it, Ben's gonna get it if he wants.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So Ben had reached out and they contacted Ben. Ben contacted Harry. Harry contacted somebody else. I contacted Harry at some point.
Sure.
We was talking about it. Harry was like, "Hey Jay, you want to help?" We ended up talking about help him on the case.
Yeah. Yeah.
We reached out. We, as the attorney, we had to sign a notice of letter of representation. Harry Daniels, he's out of Atlanta. I flew into Atlanta, met with Harry. We drove up, and we went to Alabama.
Yeah.
Now, Ross, it is the most amazing experience I've ever had because Alabama has a system of slavery through incarceration. Even at the jail we went to, there's a camp where the inmates work, and they do the construction on the roads.
Wow.
They produce food. They have a textile plant that the inmates have to work at. They have monetized these inmates for the state of Alabama. And what ends up happening is that's why those numbers are so staggering. You don't want to let people out of jail when you're making money off of them. And you're giving them, what you giving them, $1 a day? And so the case was amazing because when we went down there, we had CNN, we had Fox News, we had the flex of social media.
Yeah.
I think Al Sharpton, he had reached out to us and he was talking to us on the way up there. Ben was on speakerphone. I think he was working on another case.
Yeah.
We went to the prison. Ross, when I tell you they treated us like we were just, we were Joe Biden and his crew. I mean, they just, whatever you want. They walked us in, offered us drinks. Everybody's like, don't come after us, don't sue us. They gave us all the information of all the things they were doing to try to rectify what had happened. And what we did is that Von Castillo, he was actually admitted. And when he was admitted, I think he weighed like 190-something pounds. But at the time they actually took the video, he was down to 82 pounds.
Wow.
And something had happened. He had had some type of surgery, but they were providing adequate prisoner care for the inmates. They wasn't even assisting them. They wasn't giving them medical treatment. They wasn't providing assistance. And so that case is profound because now, if you look at it, they then went back and fixed everything. They started treating him better. They started feeding him better. And it's not just him. It's the whole prison.
Yeah.
But what happened was somebody in the prison snuck a cell phone in and snapped a picture of him and then sent it to his sister, and then it went viral. And if you look at the photographs that we have on our social media, if you see, he was within looks like a breath away from dying because he was so malnourished.
Yeah.
And so,
I saw that.
It was a bad situation.
Yeah.
But that case was profound too because you took a group of high profile black lawyers from different jurisdictions. Ben is in Miami, Harry's in Atlanta, I'm in Greensboro. We had an attorney out of Texas, and we all came together. Then you had Al Sharpton, and we don't know where Al from everywhere.
That's right.
and we all flew in, and we gave the attention, and as a result of that, everything started to change.
I got you.
Everything started to change.
Man, that is absolutely beautiful. I didn't even know anything about it, man, until I researched it. And I'm going to tell you, my mind was blown as I started reading. Shouldn't really be surprised, but man, that's huge, man. So I'm going to call out some names: George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Eric Garner, and then we have Daryl Tyree Williams. Now, of course, there's many, many more. I just named a few.
Yes.
And I know we probably can't talk but so much about this because it's still an ongoing case.
Correct.
But I want to know from your perspective, what are your thoughts on what you see right now in the climate of the country? And even though we've become a little fatigued, of hearing about these same things, we're sick of hearing it. We're sick and tired of it, and we want to see change. But I want to know from you, what do you think needs to happen from your perspective as a citizen? Just take lawyer completely out of it, a black man, a citizen in society. What would you like to see happen as some of these laws need to be changed?
Well, I think we need to police. I think that policing is under attack in our country, and there's one reason why, and it's the most obvious reason, Rouse.
Yeah.
It is technology. Everybody has a video camera.
Come on.
So you can't take an officer's statement of what happened at face value anymore when you got a camera footage saying something different.
Yeah.
If you look at the George Floyd case, the initial report said that George Floyd was responding and he had cardiac arrest. He had a heart attack. They said that the officers were trying to aid in the system. And you heard the people telling the officers, and that the officers had no knowledge or no reason to know that George Floyd was or could have been being attacked and could have been suffering adversely for what was happening.
Sure.
Until you saw that video.
Yeah.
Until you saw that Good Samaritan telling him, he can't breathe, man.
Yeah.
Dude, what are you doing? This is crazy.
Yes.
Get your knee off his neck.
Yeah.
Man, he can't breathe, man. He can't move.
Yeah.
That technology is so important.
Yeah.
And so what has to happen now is you got to understand when an officer says something happened now, they need the cameras as much as we do.
Man,
the cameras protect them.
Yeah.
Because guess what? That camera, if the cameras say that they did what they supposed to, people will trust them and give them a break.
Yeah.
But it's the problem when you cut that camera off.
Yes, sir.
Or that camera's missing. Or that camera ain't there.
Yeah.
Or when somebody else has a camera showing something different. And that's what's happening. These technologies, these phones, these video devices in everybody's pockets are giving people an opportunity to record the injustices that have been happening over the years, and they just been lying about it.
Absolutely.
And so what I want to happen is I want people to require and hold police accountable to the first question I ask a jury every time I talk to them. If you see a police officer, do you give them the same level of credibility that you would give a person that's not a police officer? Do you hold them to higher value and higher esteem just by virtue of them being a police officer?
Yeah.
Because if you do, if you believe that an officer is superior just by having that police uniform on, you can't be a qualified juror for my case.
That's right. That's
just human beings just like everybody else.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just like everybody else.
So
we got to police, Ross. We got to hold them accountable. We can't let them off the hook. And we got to keep filming things and keep being active and keep applying pressure. Yes. You know how you change law when you're dealing with law enforcement? You know what Ben always says?
Yeah, what did he say?
No, there's only one way. Make them pay. They got to cut a check.
Oh, I love Ben.
Money changes things, Ross. Make them cut a check.
Yes,
if they got to cut a check. Then when they start having to pay out, things change.
Man, what you talking about? So let's talk about your relationship with Mr. Crump, man, which I'm always just amazed. Just whenever I see him, he just won this award on television. And boy, I felt that thing in my bones, man. I was at home jumping up and hollering, me and my wife.
Yeah, Ben's the man.
Yes, sir, man. But what has this experience been like for you with working with him, man? What has it been like for you?
Ben is a godsend.
Yeah. Ben
came in the process of me having and going through some of my own professional issues in terms of these things. And Ben came, and he's a great mentor, because what you learn is that Ben came in and we started working some of these social justice cases before Ben became the Ben. He was already Ben.
Got you.
But he ain't the Ben he is now.
Right.
But Ben is he's from North Carolina. He's a country guy. He's very approachable. He wants to help you.
Yes.
And he'll do anything he can to help you. And so when I text his phone, he always responds. When I call him, he always responds. And so Ben is an amazing guy, but he is the leader. He is the GOAT at what we do.
Yeah.
So there are times where I just bounce like, Ben, what you think about this case? Ben, give me your sloppy seconds. The cases you don't want,
I take it.
Tell them to call me. What you don't want, I'll take.
That's right. That's right, brother.
And so just that experience and just having that access and that connection to him. And it ain't just Ben, there's other civil rights advocates like Harry Daniels, and there's a lot of young ones that are on the up and up, that are working behind the scenes.
Yes.
Kelly would tell you we're working some cases now where we're requesting film body worn cameras and police cameras from police fatalities involving black people, involving people in law enforcement.
Yeah.
We got to jump through 1,000 hoops even to get the video now.
Yes, sir.
And then when they give it to us, they tell us we can't use it. We can't show it to y'all. So
that's right.
You know, it's been a great experience being and just the whole practice of just being part of the civil rights movement, being the civil rights guru.
Yes.
And so anytime you have somebody like that in your corner, we're good.
Yes, sir. You can go all the way, man.
All the way.
I love it. Health is wealth. What does that mean to you? Man, you a beast, man. You be getting it, man. I was looking down there. I said, boy, I remember the days. So let's talk about that. Health is wealth and what it means to you personally, but also what it means to us in our community and how we should use that mantra with everything. Health is wealth.
I think that, Ross, you got to be healthy, and I think how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah.
And so if you can't prioritize your fitness, one of the things that gives me a level of edginess when I'm dealing with other persons is I know I'm going to outwork them.
Yeah.
I know by the time they talk to me, I've already done had 2 or 3 workouts. I'm going to have a protein shake, and I'm sitting in the chair, and I can take the stairs and so just being in a position where having access to being healthy, not tired, not sleepy, it just allows other doors and other opportunities to open.
That's right.
And how you treat your body is how you do everything else.
That's right.
And there's nothing like putting that custom suit on and getting in front of the jury. And they looking at you like, I like that suit, Mr.
They
Keith.
ain't ready.
I like that suit, Mr. Keith. But I wore it just for you. Just for you. Now cut me a check.
Yes, sir. You already got them right then and there. So let's talk about Triad Academy, man. Your basketball academy, man, which I think is beautiful, man. If you would kind of talk about that, man, as we enter into closing a little bit. But I got some fun stuff we're going to do towards the end. But let's talk about Triad Academy.
Well, look, Triad Academy is my heart. You know, you do some things, you do work, and some things are work, but you don't consider them work.
Yeah.
I started that gym because one of the things I realized by dealing with my clients, when I go to the Guilford County Jail, 90% of my clients are black males. 90% of my clients are black males between the ages of 18 and 38.
Got you.
Out of those individuals, I would say the average is each of them have at least 2 to 3 children that are being underserved in our community, that don't have access to mentorships, fathers, whatever they need.
Yeah.
So the academy is what was me kind of bridging the gap in terms of trying to provide a resource. We house and we host a learning academy. We have a after school program. We have basketball training. We're getting into volleyball as well. We have over 300 kids. Sometimes we do lock-ins. We bring the kids in. We just put an arcade in there. We put a weight room in there. We bought vans and we bus them. We pick them up. We incorporate them with a lot of stuff we have going on.
Sure.
The mural. City, we take them to the Civil Rights Museum.
Yeah.
We were involved in the local election. We brought the kids in to help out.
Yeah.
So just getting those kids. And the last thing I'm going to say, Ross, the reason why that place is so dope, I would show up with a suit on, with a pair of J's, and everybody knows that half those kids say, I want to be a lawyer just like Attorney Jason Keith.
Isn't that a beautiful thing?
And I'm telling you.
I love it, man.
It just, and I got so many kids through my program that just want to mentor and they want to be an attorney just because they see me doing it. Just because they know I can do it.
Absolutely.
And so that inspiration is what makes it more profound and makes it more amazing than anything else.
And it helps that you have a lot of swag, too. You know what I'm saying? It helps, man. You know. The kids love that. Yeah. So I love it, man. This is beautiful. So listen, I got two last fun questions. We're going to have a little fun and close it out.
Okay.
As we talk about this GOAT conversation as it pertains to LeBron James and Michael Jordan.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that?
I just think I grew up in the Jordan era.
I did too, yeah.
I got Jordans in the car right now. I can put on as soon as I leave here. I just can't say I give the same value to those LeBrons. I just can't.
I got you.
I think LeBron will be great when he's no longer accessible. You know, the thing about flowers is you don't pick your own flowers, and you can't smell them usually while you're here.
Yeah.
And LeBron is still here, so we take him for granted.
Yeah.
Jordan is still here, but he's not playing.
Yeah.
But Jordan just accomplished so many, and Jordan was the first to do it.
Yes.
It's hard. It's hard to unravel the pioneer, the person that did it first. And so LeBron will always be chasing Jordan's shadow, in my opinion. And you know, Jordan is the greatest basketball player on the planet.
Yeah.
And so there's no doubt that Jordan himself he's a brand within himself.
Man, talk about it,
so
right?
It's amazing.
I can't wear Jordans no more. I really like LeBrons because they fit my feet perfectly, brother.
LeBrons are just heavy. Those shoes are just heavy.
Man, they good for old man feet, though. They wrap these ankles perfectly, bro. So I love them, man. So listen, all right. So I want to ask you this: top 5 hip hop artists. Who would you say is your Mount Rushmore of hip hop artists? Top 5.
See, I'm all over the place.
It's on you.
I would say J. Cole. I love J. Cole, man. Cole World. I'll say Drake. You got to put him up there. He's on everybody's playlist. Okay. I'm a huge Meek Mill fan.
Okay.
You know. Okay. I think you got to drop in Hova. You got to put Jay-Z in there.
Got to.
And I guess if I had to throw the next one up, I would have to go because I love his book, 50 Cent.
Got you.
And I mean, 50, when I say hip hop, you know, one thing I can say I learned is hip hop artists are artists. They're so creative in so many facets. Sure. And I would say Will and 50, they've taken their creativity in the music and they put it into the video, the cinema market. And it's amazing. But I would say lyric-wise, 50 was hot at one point in time where nobody could dethrone him.
Oh, yeah.
Jay-Z. I say J. Cole because even if you listen to his lyrics, J. Cole's on a whole nother level.
Yeah, man.
And, you know, and he does it his way. You know, like one of the things, I just saw Creed 3 last night, which was amazing. Yeah. And one of the songs, J. Cole's like, I don't wear any labels. And you'll never see that man wearing a label.
True story.
And, you know, story. So he's doing it his way. But
Carolina bread.
Carolina and
all day long,
killing it.
Yes, sir. Killing it, man. So, hey, man, that's a great top 5, man.
Yeah,
I don't have no kind of arguments with you, other than maybe 2. But you know, it's not about me; it's about you, brother Keith. Okay. So listen, Jason, I want to say thank you again, man, for coming on the Ross Cloud Podcast. It's absolutely been a pleasure.
Appreciate you, Ross.
Yes, sir. So listen, this is the Ross Cloud Podcast. I'm Carl Ross Sr. Make it a great day and keep being great. Peace.